Okay, so let's talk about how to find the standard deviation. One thing I should have asked you in your first text message was, did you remember to square root your answer? But that aside, let me go back and make sure that I've got my formula written correctly. I do. But the standard, the mean that you had gotten in the previous question was 1.73, and that was marked correct. And then your question was how to find the standard deviation. Now it's important to point out that the question you asked, or the question they're asking you, is to find this. However, the formula that we're going to use is the formula for variance. So after we get this value, we need to square root it to get the standard deviation. So that might be the one reason that you missed it, but let's just check it out real quick. This formula to calculate the variance says you're going to square each x and multiply it times its probability. Square each x and multiply it times its probability. Square, multiply, square, multiply, square, multiply, square, multiply, square, multiply. Add all that up and then subtract the square of your mean. So let's see if we can figure out what this is. All right, 1 squared is 1 times 0.67 is 0.67. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 0.12 is 0.48. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 0.10 is 0.90. 4 squared is 16. 16 times 0.03 is 0.48. And then 5 squared is 25. 25 times 0.08 should be something that I already know, but I don't for some reason. Let's see, 25 times 0.08. Well, 5 times this is 0.40, times 5 again would be exactly 2. And then we have to subtract from that the square of 1.73. And again, if you'll please forgive me, I'm kind of going through this part quickly, which basically says square each one of these, multiply it times its probability, and then add them up. Let me just make sure that I did those correctly. Well, this one's easy. 1 times this is that. 4 times 12 is 48. 9 times 10 is 90. 16 times 3 is 48. And then 25 times 0.08 is 2.00. So whatever this equals should give us our variance. I know I have a calculator here somewhere. Here we go. All right, 0.67 plus 0.48 plus 0.90 plus 0.48 plus 2 minus 1.73 squared. This is equal to 1.5371. And I don't remember if that's the answer that you had sent me a picture of, but it wouldn't be the standard deviation because that's your variance, that's sigma squared. So to find the standard deviation, we would have to square root that. And I'm not sure how many decimal places it wanted. But if we square root that, I'll just round it to 4 decimal places. It's 1.2398, or however many decimal places it wants. I hope that fixes your problem. Please text me if it doesn't.